Hello and welcome. You're watching Tigray Television English program service coming to you live from Mala. Residents of Igala district say Eritrean forces brutally killed more than 75 civilians on October 26 in a single day. The residents said this in a mass memorial service that was held in the district of Igala in central Tigray after 3 months, in remembrance to the summary execution, stating that they were denied the funeral ceremony by the Eritrean forces. Nahum Hadgu reports.
One of the inexplicable atrocities committed by the Eritrean troops on Tigrayan civilians, which took place in the 26th of October 2022, was the mass killing of at least 75 innocent civilians that includes the indiscriminate killing of disabled elders and children in Igala district in central Tigray. To make things worse, IDPs who were displaced from other places and sought shelter for a better security were also the targets. People in the district of Igala remembered the tragic event that claimed the lives of many civilians, as they were not able to properly bury the dead bodies of the civilians due to the ban imposed by the Eritrean forces.
The people are gathered here to condole to the residents of this vicinity for their loss of family due to the heavy shelling and summary executions carried out by the evil troops of Eritrea on the 26th of October. We're gathered here after 3 months since ban was imposed by the Eritrean army not to bury and hold a funeral ceremony for them.
There were 2 priests killed. I witnessed among the deceased ones. The first one was killed here, in this place, along with 2 others. And the second priest, whose name is Father Mariam, was killed over here, along with people from other vicinities.
They massacred many civilians indiscriminately. There were disabled elderly and only 6 months of age infants among them. They buried half of the dead bodies and hanged the rest, as they wanted to destroy evidences. They committed every atrocity they could on us.
It was on 26 October. They killed 4 members of our family, including my daughter.
Reports so far reveal that at least 75 innocent civilians were killed that very day, including 19 children, 4 priests, 5 women, and others.
They massacred many civilians, including mothers, with their infants, and looted our properties.
Many religious leaders, ladies and youngsters, including infants, were massacred on that very day.
According to the residents of the district, many dead bodies were eaten by scavengers as the Eritrean army puts a ban not to bury any dead body.
Many dead bodies were eaten by the hyenas and dogs. We were only able to bury their dispersed bones. As I am the only priest left alive, I managed to lead their spiritual memorial service.
In spite of the reports on the withdrawal of Eritrean armies, the residents of district of Igala witnessed their existence in their surroundings.
Eritrean forces have not still withdrawn from the district of Igala. Bakala, Adichhur, Dekholom, Barah Gimbar, and Balasa are the vicinities of our district, where the Eritrean troops are moving freely and shamelessly.
Coordinator of socio-economic affairs in the district of Igala Out Nugusa calls for the federal government to play its role on the withdrawal of Eritrean forces from Tigray.
The people could not be protected from the previous atrocities they faced. The IDPs could not return to their homes yet. Hence, the concerned bodies, especially the federal government, should take full responsibility in order to ensure the full withdrawal of the Eritrean army from Tigray.
Administrative head of Glomagala district and chief security officer of Eastern Tigray say that many areas in Eastern Tigray are still under Eritrean forces, despite claims of withdrawal. The heads emphasized that the forces were seen stopping people at checkpoints in Sobia, Europe district, and last Saturday making it hard for the residents to carry out marketing activities. Abraham Gabrielsen has more.
Today marks third month of the peace agreement signed in Pretoria on 2nd November of 2022. The peace agreement declares immediate withdrawal of foreign and non-NDF forces from Tigray. However, Chief Security Officer of Eastern Tigray, Gebra Kasai, and Administrative Head of Glomokora District, Borihu Tsagai, say that many areas in Eastern Tigray are still under Eritrean forces amid claims of withdrawal of these forces from Tigray.
زلمبسا خمزلو كم كتما كم وردا أو كوتر من استيرترايزلا
Zalambesa town is still under Eritrean forces. Other places in the district of Glomokada, such as Addis Tesfa, Addis Alem, Marta, Ora, Agarse, Mokoya, Ligat, and Zwan Husa itself are under Eritrean forces. Secondly, Marta locality as a whole, all through Midruba, is under their control. Last Saturday, Eritrean forces were seen stopping and checking residents at a checkpoint in Sobea, in Irab district. People couldn't carry out their marketing activities.
Zalambesa as a whole and places in Glomokada district such as Ura, Zwan Husa, Aga Atarka, and Midruba in Marta locality and Sobea in Europe district are under control of Eritrean forces. This is the truth.
The headers emphasized that the federal government of Ethiopia should force Eritreans out of the Tigray territory and safeguard the security of civilians in the region, based on the Pretoria Peace Agreement and Kenya Declaration, reiterating that the government of Tigray has shown its commitment by handing over its heavy weapons as per the peace deal.
The government of Tigray has executed what's stated in the peace deal hurriedly. The people of Tigray started to raise security concerns as the Eritrean forces have not withdrawn from Tigray. So the Ethiopian government should respond to this concern quickly. People are asking for security assurance. Displaced people are looking forward to returning home. So the Eritrean forces should withdraw from all parts of Tigray, and the ANDF should be engaged in border areas to maintain civilian security.
The next thing that should be assured is who should withdraw, should be told to be withdraw. This is our people's question. Our people want to see sustainable peace and return to their normalcy. But everyone is wondering why the points of the peace deal are not being implemented fully. The peace agreement puts it that foreign forces should withdraw and it should be executed.
While briefing foreign officials on Saturday, senior Ethiopian military officer Major General Teshome Gamochu denied the presence of Eritrean force in Tigray, saying there is no other security force in Tigray region except the Federal Defense Forces. Moments later, U.S. representative to the UN, Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield, said Eritrean forces have not yet withdrawn from Ethiopia, falsifying Ethiopian authorities' claim and adding that Eritrean forces only moved back to the border but still remain in Ethiopia.
Witnesses in Samar district say the Amhara and Eritrean forces committed unspeakable crimes during their invasion. The residents added that they want the perpetrators to be held accountable and justice to be served in time. Solomon Barha reports.
Asafatullah says he was displaced from Maikadra, Western Tigray, right after the outbreak of the war in 2020, when the Allied forces began massacring people indiscriminately. After he witnessed what he called the gruesome atrocities, he left Maikadra to Miran in Abargala district to save his life. But he says despite his escape from the atrocities, he couldn't escape his fears as he was followed by another horrific scene of violence.
ያው መጀመሪያ ሰራዊት ልዩ ኃይለ አምሃራ ወይ ድማ ፋኖ ዝበሃል ሽፍታ ኢልወረረና
At first, Fano came and invaded us. They took everything, our clothes and properties. We survived, but most of our people died there. They were left unburied. Those of us who escaped the massacre first settled in Mirak in the district of Abargala. But the Amhara Fano and special forces followed us. They selectively killed ethnic Tigrayans. We were displaced 3 times, from Maikadra to Mirak in Abargala and now to Finarwa.
Safa says despite his 3 times displacement, he still couldn't escape the brutal atrocities of the Eritrean forces as he witnessed the atrocities once again. He adds the IDPs are still suffering due to lack of enough attention and insufficient aid they badly demand.
ሰራዊት ኤርትራ ማለት ሰራዊት ሻዕብያ ኣብዚ መጽዩ ኣብዚ ዓዲ ብዙሕ ግፍዒ ብዙሕ ወራር
The Eritrean forces committed heinous crimes and looted properties. They killed many people. We are receiving little aid. We are in a severe problem. There is a huge problem due to its distant nature from the urban areas and its extreme heat. Many elderly and orphans who lost their families on their way to this are displaced here. There is a problem.
The residents of Finarwa in Samra district say the Eritrean forces burned their grains and turned their properties useless and are now in hunger these days.
After the Eritrean forces came, they committed inhuman acts. They mistreated us. They spoiled the foods prepared to be eaten. They thrown it away. Many of us were suffering from hunger while they were making it out of use. We faced unspeakable problems.
The Eritrean forces took our farming materials. We were left idle. We could not plow. They made us starve. Countless goats were taken. A single farmer has lost more than 100 goats. Every farmer has lost 20 up to 13 goats. We were not even able to turn lights on during the night time. They were spoiling eggs. They skinned hens. They killed civilian people. 12 elders were mercilessly killed and burned mixed up. Many others were killed.
IDP sheltering in Lekatit San Celestin Secondary School based in Mekelle and now serving as an IDP center say that their children with special needs are on the brink of death due to lack of food as aid remains inaccessible in Tigray. The IDPs added that they are knocking at every door begging for food where most of their efforts remain in vain as every household in Mekelle has faced economic crisis. Abraha Gautensai reports again.
We met Leta Christos Gabraslassie sheltering at Lekati 23 Secondary School in Mekelle, currently serving as an IDP center. Leta Christos was displaced from Turkan, Kaftahmura district in western Tigray 2 years ago, following the war that started in November of 2020. She says she is unable to feed herself and her 2 children with physical problems as food aid is still inaccessible, and all the people who used to help her are not by her side at the moment.
I'm in dire condition with my children. There is no food aid. They give us once in 3 or 4 months, and it's not enough to fulfill our daily meal. We're suffering from hunger. It has been 3 months into the peace accord, but our demand for food is still unanswered.
Leta Christos says she is helpless as her husband died 6 years ago and her brothers who used to help her are now out of her reach and she doesn't know their whereabouts.
My husband died 6 years ago. I used to live on farming and my brothers were helping me. But now I'm displaced and I don't know the whereabouts of my brothers since the start of the war. I'm in dire condition. I cannot feed my children.
Leta Christos adds that her children couldn't get medical service for their physical problems and she is unable to get clothes to change for her children. She adds she couldn't get sanitary materials including body soap and detergents to wash her children and their clothes either.
The problem is multifaceted. My children couldn't get medical service. You see, they cannot walk properly and they get their clothes dirty in short time. I have no clothes to change for them, and I couldn't get soap to wash their clothes. There's nothing we get here. Our hope is vanishing.
Another internal displaced person we met in the IDP center at Adamokonan also says she is going through a tough time due to shortage of food ever since she was displaced from Dadawit, northwestern Tigray, as food supply to the IDPs remains small.
My daughter bothers me a lot, as she got hearing impairment and we don't have food to eat. We haven't been getting aid. My daughter and I are trying to fulfill our daily meal begging on the streets. My 6 children and I are on the edge. If we get little food, we eat. Otherwise, we sleep empty-bellied. I couldn't breastfeed my little baby as I don't eat food.
The mothers said they are about to perish together with their children due to lack of food and they asked for help before they die of hunger.
I ask anyone here and abroad to help me get medical service for my children and feed them. I have nothing at hand. Every possession of mine was left back home and looted. I'm in need of urgent help. I'm in desperation. My daughter has hearing impairment and she doesn't understand my problem. We have no food and no clothes to change. I am at great risk with my 6 children. I call everyone to help me feed my children and change their clothes.
And finally, residents of Finarwa in Samra district say the presence of external forces and the delay in resumption and sluggish delivery of services are affecting the peace process. While stating their happiness, the residents asked for a swift resumption of basic services and the millions of displaced people to return home according to the terms of the peace agreement. Salamun Barha has the details.
The news of the peace deal has been giving a glimmer of hope for millions of people who have been experiencing inexplicable suffering for more than 2 years. With their desperate need for peace and subsequent benefits, IDPs from Western Tigray, now sheltering in Finarwa Sambara district, expressed their doubts on the peace deal due to the presence of Eritrean forces and the delay in the services as compared to the huge demand on the ground, while appreciating the agreement that gave birth to the silencing of gangs that once traumatized them on a daily basis.
After the peace deal, we relieved from hearing the disturbing voices of heavy weaponries. We were disturbed day and night. It is good. We are very happy that peace deal has been signed.
We are very happy that peace is prevailing. It's because of peace that we were able to peacefully sleep for the past 3 months. We started marketing, harvesting, and collecting our grain.
I'm glad that we are not hearing the disturbing sounds of drone, aircrafts, and heavy weaponries. We were running away when we see militias. This is what the peace has given us so far, but there is no actual benefit on the ground.
While expressing their excitement about silencing of the disturbing sounds, the residents stated a lot remains to be done for the peace deal to bear fruit, as many are still suffering on a daily basis. They asked the concerned ones to help the displaced civilians be taken to their sweet home.
Guns
have been silenced, but we are still looking for concrete solutions.
Civil servants are still suffering from hunger, and they are in a dire situation. They are displaced everywhere, separated from their sweet home. They are not back to their homes. They have to go back to their beloved home. The IDPs should also be able to get what we have got so far.
The residents also ask for the full resumption of services and the withdrawal of external forces from the territories of Tigray, stating that people in areas under the external forces are facing inhuman atrocities.
Our brothers and sisters in other areas are still being massacred and slaughtered by the Eritrean forces. This is what makes us sad, but we are happy about the peace deal.
We are happy about the peace as we got relieved for the past 3 months, but we are suffering from hunger as there is no food.
The steps at the beginning are good, but it should be down to earth. We are hoping for the peace to be implemented fully. It should be up to the expectations.
There is no electricity and telecommunication service. We are still cut off.
We hear that services have been started, but we are not witnessing on the ground. The banks that resume service have now stopped. We have doubt on its implementation.
We need all the points of the agreement to be applied on the ground. The Eritrean forces should be cleared from our territories. The Amara militias should be withdrawn. Each and every point of the peace deal should be down to the earth so that we can be benefited from it. Peace cannot be achieved by just speaking. Action matters and a lot remains to be done.
That's all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.